to my channel, Team Michelle. Here we discuss topics that have the ability to change our daily lives and to change how we think and to change the perspective that we have of different things, and it just impacts our approach, and we discuss things that are able to impact our lives differently, that make us see life in different dimensions and different angles, rather than just plainly facing life without any skills and without any additional knowledge. So today we have a very interesting topic, just as usual, and I bet this one you don't want to miss. Every day in life, we are faced with different situations that forces us to make certain decisions in life. So a decision is this one choice that you choose from the different options that you may have. So some choices might be easy to make, and some might be very difficult to make. So easy choices can be such as what to eat at a certain time in the day, what movies to watch, like what outfits to wear depending on the weather or depending on the event you're attending, what YouTube channel. Talking of what YouTube channel to watch, I want to thank you all for the far we've gotten to now. Thank you for the subscriptions and for the views and the comments. If you've not yet subscribed, kindly consider subscribing right now, even before we proceed, because we are heading to 200 and above subscribers. So if you've not subscribed, it is you that you're waiting for to get at 200 and even more. So that was an interruption. We are sorry for that, but kindly consider subscribing and supporting my channel. So that is one of the decisions you can decide to make, supporting me, and I plead that you make it, because it has no negative consequences at all. Yeah, it is for the benefit of the both of us. So those are some of the easy decisions that we can make. Of course, there are a number of them, those are just a few. So some of the difficult decisions to make are what career path to choose, what college to go to, whether you want to marry and begin a new phase of life, things like that, and the list is long. So these difficult decisions, making them is as difficult as they are. So it requires someone to have the skills, the knowledge, the know-how of making the decisions, because these are some of the decisions that when you rush into, then the consequences might be horrible. Yeah. So this is a learning process, and making a decision is something that someone is not born with. It is not genetic, and it is something that we learn, just as the way we go to school. Yeah, maybe someone might be born naturally bright, but the brightness cannot come out without the external instinct that stimulates the brightness inside. Like, someone must tell you this is 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, so that you have it that way. Let us say you had that genetical brightness, yet no one told you that 1 plus 1 is 2. There is no way you'll know it. But when someone tells you, then you'll know it forever. Unlike someone who is not bright naturally, they will have to read, revise, and do that again and again and again. So decision making is not inbuilt. No one is born naturally knowing how to make decisions. So it's a learning process for all of us. So it calls for certain steps, very few steps by the way, to make the right decisions in life. So today we are making the right decision at some steps to making the right decisions. Yeah, so let us jump right. So number one step of making a right decision is identifying your goal. So this is one of the most effective strategy of making a right decision. Like you have to know what your end goal is, what you want to pursue in life, what you want your life to be, the color you want to have, the color you want to possess in life. What is your color in life? What I mean by color is the type of life you want to live. Like, what is your goal in life? You have to know what your goal is, so that you make a decision that will stand by it. So you have to answer the questions like, what is my goal, and what is the problem that I want to solve? The problem that you want to solve is eliminating the obstacle that will deter you or prevent you from reaching your goal. So what is the problem to be solved, and why? Why is so that we reach the goal. So these are the two questions that if you've answered right, then you've tackled the first step right. So identify your goal so that you don't mess in the process of making the right decision. Remember, this decision should lead us to our goal in life. So identify your goal first, even before you start decision making. Number two step to making the right decision is doing a little bit of research, gather knowledge to weigh the options of these choices you want to make, because we have a list of choices. It's either I do this or that, or you might have a couple or more than two choices that you want to choose from. So do a little bit of research. So in doing further research, you can decide to read from books online, or even the physical books, like the hard copy books. You can decide to ask people, like gather as much resources as possible on these different choices that you want to make, so that we don't mess up, because in life we don't want to make any mistake. It is really normal for these things to look. It is really normal for these things to look unrealistic at the beginning, but they're really important when you come to the decision making itself. It is really important to gather information and to do a little bit of research. Remember, we are not sweating here for decision making, and we are not like straining to make a decision. Yeah, the little things that you do, the little research that you do, that is the way to go. Don't think that the way you are doing it is the wrong way. It is the exact right way, because right way for me is not the right way for you, and the decision I want to make is not the decision that someone wants to make. So they call for different levels of research as well, because someone may want to make the easy decisions that we talked about at the beginning of the video, and someone wants to make a difficult decision. And remember, the degree of difficultness of these things also differ. It might be in the category of the difficult ones, but some might be less difficult than others, if that sounds correct. Yeah. So the way you're doing it is the correct way. If you're gathering information concerning the choices that you have already, then that is the correct way to go. So gather resources, ask people, read books, Google, and do a little research wherever you can do it and wherever you can gather the information. It is really right and it is accurate for good decision making. The third step is to consider the consequences of the decisions we want to make, or the consequences of the choices that we want to make a decision from. So this is a very essential step that you should not skip, as a look at the the pros and the cons, both the sides of these consequences. Remember, we have a list of choices that we want to choose from. There's a choice A, B, C, D, and the list might be longer. So consider the consequences of each choice. Remember, we don't want to regret, and we don't want to be affected negatively by the choices we make on our own. It can really be embarrassing when you make a decision on your own and then the decision fails to respect you at the end of the day. So ask yourself these questions like, what is the effect of this decision now? And what is the effect as well in the future? So consider. Here, what we are driving at is we want to settle on a decision that have lesser negative consequences as compared to the positive ones. Like the positive ones outweigh the negative ones. So that, remember, everything that you do and every choice that you will make has both negative consequences. And there's this relative who went to a driving school, and at the end, like, he applied for 2 interviews at the same time and was shortlisted for both, though different dates. So he went for both and qualified for both. So number one was in an urban, let me call it urban area in town, and it was for an MP, and a member of parliament. And the other one was for the county government. And it was in the rural area. So this one for the MP was on contract basis, where you renew your contract after every 3 years. And the other one, the rural, was permanent and pensionable. But for this one of the MP, the salary from this one of the MP outweighed this one of the government, the county government. Yeah, like it was double. The salary of the MP was twice the salary of this county government. This one was permanent. This one was in contract. So you see, this relative of mine, this person X, had to choose which one now. This one is in town for the MP. This one is in the countryside, and this one pays more than this one. This one is in contract basis. This one is a permanent job, and it's pensionable. So you look here, you have these choices, and you have to make a decision, and it should be as fast as possible because you've already qualified for both. And so in this case, this is where we say that you have to make a decision where the positive consequences outweighs the negative consequences. So that story aside, you have to make a decision for that. Yeah. So consider the consequences first, because when you make you don't want to regret. Yeah. Just as I had said, there is no regret for our decisions because we made them out of our conscious mind, and you were sane at that time. So you don't want to mess up with anything. Number 4. Now we've come to the real decision. Number 4 is make the decision. We've considered the consequences, we've known our goal, we've done our research, so we want to pick this one that suits what we want in life, that suits the objective that we are aiming at the end of the day. So make that decision, pick it from the many choices that you have. Here we must really trust our instincts. What your mind tells you now, pick it. Trust what your mind tells you and what your heart tells you, because we want to go for the best, something that you enjoy, something that you don't regret. Yeah, because we have really followed the steps to the latter, and this is the almost the final, but not the final. So pick that step and move with it. So the fifth step in proper decision making is evaluate the choice that you just made. Yeah, it is the step where we've already begun executing this choice that we made out of the different ones. And remember, we might not be perfect as a person because it's man who is to err, and maybe this decision might not be working at the beginning. This is a step because we don't want to skip it so that we regret at the end of everything. We make it immediately after making that choice, so that when it does not work for us, we can go back as well and make another decision as well. So evaluate. Is it working for us? Is it heading toward the goal that we had? This step is as important as the first step of knowing our goal, if it's not more. Yeah, so let us not skip it, that we have already made a decision and that is it. Maybe there was a drawback that made us, or there was something that we were going through at that time of the decision making process that made us to land to a certain decision, which shouldn't have been the case. So in the process of evaluating, we will know that this one is not really leading us to where we wanted to go. That we re-evaluate and go back when time is not late yet and make another decision. So in the process of this all, there might be some common drawbacks that might come in between that we should know how to deal with. Some of these common drawbacks are the biases that we meet in the process of decision making. Like we can say that an example of a bias is we like to win more than we hate to lose. We like to win more than we hate to lose. You know, these things are the same, but if you take one and compare it with another one seems bigger and the other seems smaller, but in real sense they are the same. You love to win more than you hate to lose. So take note of some of these biases so that they don't make the brightest person make the dumbest decision. Another common drawback is sweating the small stuff. Things like just inquiring information about the choices you want to make. You want to sweat for it, and you want to develop ulcers, and you want to develop anxiety that should never even exist. So just take it easy, step by step. Do not sweat this, discourage others who are looking up to you. Take it easy and do it step by step. And then another common obstacle in this process is rushing. Let us not rush. Do it in a pace that suits it. It is not something to take a whole year to make a decision, and it is not something to take a minute to make. So just give it a pace that suits it, and we are all going to benefit from the decision that we make at the end. We come to the end of the video. Hope it was helpful to all of us, and I want to persuading or requesting you to share with others that might not have gotten the information. Let us share with our friends, our relatives, any other person that might. I know everyone wants to get this knowledge because it is not something that is out there for everyone. Yeah, and everyone needs to make a decision. So let us share, because sharing is caring. Let us subscribe to this channel. Remember, we are on to 200 subscribers and more. So if you're here and you've not yet subscribed, kindly hit the red subscribe button there. So when it turns to gray, that means you've already subscribed. Kindly subscribe. And Comment if you found it helpful, or if you found some mistakes or something. Kindly comment so that we correct in the next video. So up to now, or up to there, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.